Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Justin Green, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to keep those work boots in tip-top shape. So let's get started. Alright guys, so this video is going to be for my blue collar buddies, my construction men, my hard workers, my go-getters. You guys know as well as I do, your tools make your money, but one of those most important tools that you have in your arsenal is going to be your work boots. If you got bad boots, they're going to make you feel bad. If your boots aren't well maintained and your boots are out of shape, wore out, busted, whatever, those boots are going to affect you because you wear them 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 hours a day if you're like me. And you want them things to keep trucking and keep moving along, and you want to be able to make as much money as you can off of those good work boots. So today I'm going to show you guys how to take your work boots and keep them in tip-top form. So let's go ahead, dive down over here. I'm going to show you the routine that I like to do to my boots, and hopefully that these bad boys will stay lasting longer than ever and keep making you that dollar. So let's roll. Alright guys, I appreciate y'all for tuning in today. I'm Justin Green, and I'm glad to have you guys here on the channel. If you haven't been here before, we do some pretty cool things. We learn a lot of stuff, but today we're talking about work boots. So if this is the kind of thing that you're interested in, you may want to consider subscribing because we do a lot of cool things here on the channel. Also, be sure to leave me a thumbs up if you enjoy this video. I've done one boot video before, and it's actually got quite a few views compared to my other stuff, so I'm hoping this is the kind of content that you guys are looking for. So today I'm actually going to take you guys through my process on how to keep your work boots nice and clean. So without further ado, let's talk about what I've got, the process I use, and how often I use it. And it's tried and true for me. Hopefully it'll save you guys some money. Because work boots, if you want good ones that's going to make you feel good and keep your back and your feet and your legs from getting fatigued throughout the day, you're going to pay a pretty penny for them. But with these little techniques and tricks that I'm fixing to show you today, it should keep them at maximum performance for maximum longevity. So let me go through and tell you what we got. Alright, so first up, what I've got here is I'm going to show you guys the boots that I'm wearing. So right now, this is probably my favorite pair of boots that I currently own. These are a pair of Keens. These are the Coburgs, and I believe these are the 6-inch. I'm sorry, these are the 8-inch. I like a little bit of ankle support. These boots here, Keen boots, I don't know if you guys have ever tried them out, but I highly recommend them. But as you guys can see, these boots here are pretty dirty. I've had these boots, mind you, since about last January. So I've got about 6 months into these, and they look really good to be 6 months worn. Now I will say I rotate between these 3 pair of boots, usually bi-weekly. I'll wear these, those, and those. I kind of rotate them out. They say it's good to not wear the same boot day in and day out, so I try my best to rotate them out. Plus that gives me a really good reason to just buy extra boots, because I kind of have a problem with shoes, especially work boots here lately. So don't tell my wife, but I got a new pair on the way, a new pair of Keens, and when they get here, I'm going to be doing a video on those. So be sure, let me know if you guys want to see that. But anyways, back to these. Can't say enough about Keens, especially once you get them broke in after a couple days. They are amazing. You got a nice wide toe, a lot of freedom in there. If you're like me, you're used to wearing Thorogoods, the mock toe, you kind of get cramped up in there. So with having this big toe, you get plenty of space. They do have a nice arch stability, and then these here have the 90-degree heel, so you can climb ladders and kind of have something to hook your feet onto and feel nice and comfortable. But they are a leather boot. These are steel toe. The new ones I have coming in are carbon fiber, so that's really exciting, and I believe I'm going to really like those. Next up, as you guys seen before, I'll leave a link up above, but I have the Thorogoods here, mock toe Thorogoods, wedge bottoms. As far as just all around daily, day one comfort, these are really hard to beat, especially if you use the routine that I'm fixing to show you guys. And some of the products I'm fixing to show you guys, these boots right out of the box are just absolutely amazing. These are really expensive though, so I try to take as good a care of these as I can. Try not to kick stuff on purpose so I can keep the leather in good shape, not bust the toes open. But yeah, these are just all around tried and true. Just a good all around leather boot, especially if your foot gets really hot like mine. You don't want any kind of insulation or extra padding that's not needed. These are the ones to go with. And then I'm not a huge slip-on fan until I bought these. These are Thorogoods as well, but I do believe this is one of their Chinese-made boots. I'm not too keen, haha, no pun intended, not too keen on that. But I will say these are still very, very comfortable boots. They do have a zip side on them to make it easy to get them on and off, but I normally just slip right in. These are non-metallic safety toes. It is a composite toe, so they're super light. They're even lighter than these are actually, with a steel toe in them, even though they look like a bigger boot. But I've had all these. I've had the Thorogoods a little longer than I have the Kings. Had these for probably about 8 months. I've had these for about 10 months. And like I said, these are rocking about 6. But as you guys can tell, I rotate them. I don't take any kind of special precautions out in the field. I try not to kick stuff that I shouldn't. But you know, if I've got to get down and dirty and work, I get down and dirty. So I think with the care and routine maintenance, routine that I put into these boots, I think they're all in really good shape considering. And like I said, we spend good money on these things. I don't like to just waste money, so I try to keep my things nice and in good working condition. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to try to show you guys the boots, what they look like now prior to what they look like when I clean. So what you're going to need is a bucket with a little bit of hot and soapy water inside. You guys can take my word, nothing special there. I got me a towel. I'm going to lay out here on the table to keep things nice and neat. And then you can use a brush if you want to. I'm not a fan of using a big heavy duty wire brush, especially on leather, because it's really abrasive and it kind of cuts and tears and makes marks in the leather that you don't want. So I simply just use a rag and it works good. You might have to scrub a little bit harder and a little bit longer, but for what purpose that I like to use my boots, I don't want to take any unnecessary scratches and abrasions to them with a wire brush. But we're going to do that. We're going to let them dry just a little bit, not much. And then I can't say enough about this stuff right here, guys. Norwegian or Norwegian, however you want to say it. It's weatherproofing leather. They sell this at my local store. I'll be sure to leave a link for this stuff down below in the description, along with each one of these boots. If it's something that you guys are interested in, be sure you head on down to the link, click on it, and if you wanted to buy one, it would support me and the channel. I do get a little bit of a kickback from those links, so any purchases there would be greatly appreciated. That'll just allow me to get better and more advanced equipment, boots, reviews, and things to bring you guys more videos. So after that being said, Norwegian, this is a leather treatment, and I would highly recommend this. Even if it's your first day wearing a brand new pair of boots, I would highly recommend wearing this on the leather the night before, letting it dry. These will make breaking in boots a breeze, especially on these Thorogoods. It just softens the leather right up, and day one your boots are going to feel like you've already broke them in for a week. So that's good. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start out on the Kings here today. Let me get me a nice towel laid out here. Alright, so like I said, I'm a big fan of just a rag. So I'm going to get my rag nice and wet with that soapy water. And then we're just going to start wiping all the dirt and debris off of our boots. You don't really have to get too detailed. You want to put a little pressure, make sure you get them clean. Of course, try to get in all the little grooves. Really focusing on the leather, on the seams down where the leather meets the sole of the shoes. We want to focus on trying to get all that out. And the reason that you want to do this is because this dirt and chemicals and just different stuff that we're in different working environments, it gets in there, it starts breaking down the materials of the boot, the leather, the stitching, the rubber, all these things. If they sit in there and they just kind of wear and tear on your boot and they start breaking down all the fabrics and everything, and that's what causes your boots to kind of fall apart. So I try to about at least once a week, if I'm wearing a pair of boots a bunch, if not every week, every other week, I try to clean my boots, make them nice and neat. Like I said, you know, I've got almost, you know, $500 in 3 pairs of boots right here. So, you know, that's not, I'm not rich by no means. That's not chump change. That's a lot of money. That's a hard-earned paycheck right there. So I like to keep these things in nice working condition. But as you can see there, got everything nice and wiped down on those. And I'm just going to go through and I'm going to wipe all these boots down like that. So I'll speed this up because it's super boring and you guys don't want to see that. But I'm going to go through, wipe down all my boots, and then I'm going to show you the next step. So let's go ahead and do that now. Fast forward. While I'm on the Thorogoods, if you guys have a pair of wedge bottom boots, just a simple trick. This wedge down here, the sole of these tends to get really dirty and stain super easy, being that kind of like sponge material. I did learn a trick. Now you can't do it all the time, but every now and then it works. You can just get some really fine grit sandpaper, like even like a 1200, and just kind of run it over the soles of these, and it'll bring that white back out in them. So if you want to look fresh, nice and clean, maybe for a new job interview or something, something to try out. So let's continue the fast forward. See you in a second. Okay, so there you go, guys. I took just a nice soapy rag with dishwashing soap. Doesn't even have to be anything fancy. It can just be, you know, the store brand. That's what I buy. But anyways, I take a nice hot soap, rinse it, you know, wash and wipe everything down with just a simple wash rag. Kind of let everything dry a little bit. And then what we're going to do is going to take the Norwegian or Norwegian, however you say it, and we're going to, you know, go ahead and apply this to the leather on these boots. And I promise, guys, these things are going to look like they come right out of the box. So I'm going to set these aside and let them dry. And then I'm going to go back to the Kings and we're going to work on them a little bit. So there you go. You can see what they look like now that they are nice and cleaned off. Just knock the dust and dirt and mud off of them with the rag and the soap. And there you go. So like I said, we're going to go ahead, take the Norwegian. Now this stuff comes in a little bottle like this. It kind of looks like a PVC glue type thing in it. It's kind of got the little rod with the cotton ball down on the end. There you go. You can see that. So that's what it looks like. Get all the excess off of here. You don't have to be super, you know, careful with this stuff. Mostly just, it don't help anything except for the leather. So what I like to do is I like to just start on one side, and it'll kind of a little bit goes a long way, if that makes sense. But I do like to almost oversaturate my boots. Like I said, these things are, this stuff is what really kind of gets into the leather and really treats that leather and keeps leather from drying out. If you guys have anything leather at all, you know that once leather dries, it gets really hard and really kind of crusty feeling and flaky, and that's not what you want in your boots. You want your boots to be nice and healthy and nice and you know, kind of flexible, and this is gonna really do that. This stuff just gets in the leather and kind of sits there and keeps everything nice and moist, and keeps the leather and longevity of these boots just going and going, kind of like that Energizer bunny. It just goes and goes. Leather is one of those things that, you know, if you treat it right, it'll last you a lifetime. So as far as your boots go, I always like to really treat the leather and keep it nice and healthy. And then, you know, normally what happens to me is this, I wear the soles out of a boot before the leather wears out. So there you go, guys. I don't know if you can see that too well, but that boot is now nice and saturated. As you can see, I have a nice coating of the Norwegian all over it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to set it out and let it dry. Now typically something like that will dry overnight. So we will, you know, I can normally do this, get up and wear these boots in the morning, which is definitely what I'm going to do. I'm going to wear these boots to work tomorrow. But this stuff also actually waterproofs leather as well. So the Kings come waterproof from the factory. I've never had an issue with them. You can stand in, in puddles with Keens all day, and typically your feet's going to stay dry. But this is something that treats the leather, and on top of that, it does waterproof the leather as well. So that's just going to kind of give you a little bit of peace of mind and a little longevity on that waterproofing. So everybody knows you get on a job site and it starts raining and your feet get wet. If you're like me, that's game over. I'm ready to call it a day. I don't like to be working in wet feet at all. So definitely want to try to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply this on the rest of these boots, and we'll get this on there, show you guys what they look like, and then we'll wrap this video up. So let me go ahead and get this applied. Alright guys, there you go, all done. As you guys can see, the first pair that I did is already starting to dry up. There is still some pretty good wet spots, but a couple hours, especially if you was to set these things outside or at least on top of your vent in your house, they're going to dry up really quick, really easy, and it's just going to make that leather just oh so nice and bendable and nice and flexible, and keep it nice and moisturated. So I've done all 3 pairs of these boots in about 15 minutes, and that was with me yapping my mouth to you guys, acting like you're sitting here in front of me. I know it's kind of weird to even think about. But yeah, so this is a super easy process. Soap and water, a rag, keep the dirt, the mud, the oils, the chemicals off of your boots, and then you're just going to simply come back through and hit it with some Norwegian. This is just a leather treatment. I'll be sure, like I said, leaving links down below for the pairs of boots, and definitely for the Norwegian waterproofing and leather treatment. I highly recommend you pick up a bottle of that. And if you guys are interested, like I said, these boots, I'll have links below. I get a kickback on anything you buy from the links, so I would greatly appreciate it if you do use mine. Thanks guys, it keeps my videos, keeps me making videos for you guys. So appreciate you all. If you have any questions, be sure to leave me a comment down below. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, because we got plenty more content coming. Like I said, I got a new pair of Keens on the way. Probably do a first impressions and a review of those, and I'm probably going to shoot you guys some reviews on each individual pair of these boots, let you know what I do like and what I don't like, because there are some of both, no matter what you buy. Also, be sure to turn on the bell if you are subscribed. That way, every time I post a new video, you guys will be the first to know about it, because sometimes YouTube just kind of wants to hide my videos, and I'm a little guy anyway, so all the views I could get would greatly be appreciated. And go ahead and jackhammer that thumbs up button for me. All the thumbs up I can get lets me know what kind of content to keep bringing you guys, and I would greatly appreciate it. So without further ado, I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and put these bad boys to use so they can make me a little bit of money and I can buy more stuff for my YouTube channel. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Take my horse down the road, gonna ride till I can't no more.